It's gamer time. Welcome to the Cinnamon Gaming's 2018 Game of the Year Awards, starring your host as hostess. That's not a word. It's hosts with a long S.
Hosts,
right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Okay. Well, sorry. Yeah, me, Bradley. Hi. I'm sorry.
Jordan. Hi, that's me.
No, hey.
He sounds so unenthused.
Hey. And Zach.
I did it, but no one heard because we were laughing at them.
Oh. That seems to be the moral of your life.
Alright, our first award goes to the game that had the best art. We'll start with Bradley, then go to Noah, then Zach, and then
well, we can start with me because I think we all have the same game for this. Except for maybe Zach, because Zach chooses weird things.
System.
But
that's a bold assumption. My
art of the year is easily Octopath Traveler. Back in, I guess it was, and then I played the game and I'm like, wow, it was even better than I imagined. So yeah, I don't know, the pop-up book art style is not something I've ever seen done before, but to do it with a merging of Unreal Engine style graphics and SNES style graphics, that was just genius. I really regret not getting the special edition that had the actual like pop-up book with a bunch of the character art and stuff. I really wish I had gotten that. And also, besides just the in-game art, a lot of the concept art and the menus in a very medieval style I think was really cool too, which it does a lot to help sell the medieval atmosphere. And I think people kind of forget about how cool that art is. Alright, that's all I have to say about it. Oh, and the box art is really cool.
Surprising pick from Bradley. Alright, Noah, what's your pick for best art?
My pick for best art was actually Octopath as well.
No way!
For a lot of the same reasons as Bradley, similarly because of the pop-up with art style. I've never seen that done before. I really liked the NES style graphics, but that was great.
NES?
I don't remember what you said.
SNES.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I meant. I'm sorry. But I've never seen that done before, and I don't think I'm ever gonna see it done as well as Octopath did it, especially with such a great story too. That was fantastic. So it goes out to Octopath.
All right, so Zach, now we disappoint Bradley with our picks.
I went with Return of the Overdid because although the graphics are just as good as Octopath's, everyone else picked Octopath. I didn't want to follow the crowd.
I still haven't even seen much of that game except for a couple pictures of the art style, and I think it's
looks
me.
really good.
I wish people had actually played the game.
Same.
Didn't it win at the actual Game Awards?
It won something.
Yeah,
it might have been best indie. No, best indie was Celeste.
Yeah, that's what
Was it best art?
I think it was best art.
I don't remember. Anyway, my pick.
Please don't say
This is kind of cheating, but it goes to Okami HD. I played that game out this year.
Yeah, that is kind of cheating, but I'll allow
It
it.
had. I wanted to talk about it because it has one of the most beautiful, like Japanese-inspired art styles, and I really liked it.
And now it's in HD.
Yeah, so it's better.
It's better and totally original and totally not a game that came out like what 10 years ago.
It came out this year in HD.
Yeah, we'll allow it. All right. So that wraps up best art. Does that mean technically Octopath won because it got 2 out of 4?
No.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, and we're on to best music. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, Noah, go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Oh wait, it's best
Well,
music. I was supposed to actually start the music.
Best music.
Yeah, drop this.
Right?
Alexa, play beats.
All right, Noah.
Very quiet. Thanks, Alexa.
Well, for me, it's not actually the music that's playing right now, but my best music actually goes out to MP3 Simulator 2018. So Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
2013.
Super Smash.
Oh no.
Oh, he Oh, Super Smash Brothers Noah left.
Oh, there he is. He's back now.
I'm so glad I died just now.
I'm so glad.
Is my game of the year is
My
as
game.
far as music. So I'm very happy with all the music options. Personally, I like a lot of the remixes too. So it's really.
So it actually didn't matter who went first in this category because both of me and Noah would have had the same game.
All right, cool.
All right.
With 1,000 different sound music, I could not pick a different game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is just my MP3 player right now, as well as a great game, besides just the music.
All right, Zach.
To make incredibly bad, and because I don't think it's fair for Smash to win, because most of the game music isn't original. Celeste had a very great soundtrack. And
I agree.
enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
Celeste is a great soundtrack, dude.
Very good.
All right. And even if I was going to count Smash, it still wouldn't take it over Octopath. Now, speaking out of the heart, as a musician, that is the most fantastically scored game I have ever played. Every single track added to the emotion of the moment so well, and it fit the medieval aesthetic better than any other medieval game. Not to mention the tracks themselves are stupid catchy. If you go to my game music on YouTube right now, my game music playlist, and look at the amount of tracks from each individual series, I think Smash or Mario might have it beat, but I think Octopath is the single game with the most songs on my playlist, and that's like a 200 song playlist.
Okay, so hear me out. So what if a Octopath character gets in Smash, and then we get an Octopath stage that has the same art style?
Dude,
as
I would.
Octopath,
Now, I don't even care which character it
or
is.
Octopath music.
I feel like it's possible.
But I would freak out if we got Cyrus. Actually, I think Ulbrich would be the most likely. Cyrus isn't a sword character. That's why I want Cyrus.
Shows you which
But it
game
would
I have
probably
played.
end up being Ulbrich because generic sword boy.
Alright, that was off topic. Next, we have the category Best Story. I think I know what Bradley's is, but I want to hear Noah and Zach go first.
Oh, so I'm going first again this time.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, my best story actually is a game that I got to experience for a whole 30 minutes, and I got to watch the rest of it. So I mean, I experienced it. But my best story goes to Red Dead Redemption, purely because personally I loved the first Red Dead Redemption and it told an amazing story. So I'm kind of biased when it comes to the second one. But whenever I got to experience and I saw it, this is pretty much the exact same story. It's just a prequel. And whenever I got to see that, I was hooked. I mean, it was a story that I was going to love from the very beginning. Basically, because I got to see John Marston get plastered into the side of the barn, and I cried that scene. So, I loved this story from the very beginning because I got to see my favorite character not die. It was wonderful. Personally, I think it deserves a story for just the nostalgia for me. I can't say that for everybody else.
Alright, I'll go next. Because I hate Rockstar. I have seen exactly nothing about Red Dead story, so I cannot give it anything in that category. But a game that I haven't played, that I have seen 100% of the story of, and absolutely loved, was God of War. I don't have a PS4, so I haven't played the game yet. I plan to eventually, someday, probably when the PS5 comes out. But I watched multiple playthroughs of it. To see them take a character and completely flip him on his head and give him a character arc that nobody really expected before the game came out, it was really something incredibly original to see. The acting was phenomenal. The writing was spot on throughout. The plot twists were a little predictable other than a few of the ones at the very, very end, which set up sequels, but I think just generally, I haven't had a game story touch my heart that much since Ori and the Blind Forest. It was
All right, Zach, what's your pick?
The problem is that most of the story-based games I played this year, didn't come out this year. So the only, I guess, even remotely story-based game.
It doesn't
that
have
came
to be
out this year that I
story
played-
based.
Well, it's still Celeste. It had a
Okay,
really
yeah,
good
that's
story to
fair.
it.
That's really fair.
Funny enough,
And-
my pick is also Celeste.
Hey, nice. It's a pretty good story.
It's
That's-
pretty
that's
good.
all.
That's all he's gonna. All right, I guess we leave it up to George.
I think it's a really cute and touching story, and it lasts just the amount of time. It's just it's not overly complex. It's just simple and like.
One thing
cute
about
story.
Celeste story is it's very, very personal. It's not detached from reality. It's something that pretty much everybody can relate to.
Yeah,
It's especially with like comparing it to God of War, where one of the taglines they say in the trailer is, "We are not men. We are more than that." Celeste takes an incredibly different approach, and it's all about just one girl and her mental struggles, and I think that's something that everybody can really connect with.
well, I mean, that assumes don't count Ashira.
I don't.
I also do enjoy how Bradley did not pick Celeste and had more to say about it than me and Zach.
Yep.
It's a short game, and I don't want to spoil
Hey,
it.
I could have talked for 15 minutes about Octopath Story too, because Primrose, Cyrus, and Alphen's stories are
Too bad God of War
legendary.
came out this year.
Yep, but God of War was just phenomenal.
All right, next category. I will start off because I kind of cheated on it, but I think it's like. I think this character is new enough to accept, even though it's a character we've seen done time and time again. My original pick was going to be Arthur Morgan because I enjoyed his voice acting and his character, but I didn't play enough of Red Dead Redemption 2 to. I played a lot more of this game, and I feel like I wanted to give this game a shout out. Peter Parker from Marvel's Spider-Man. I know we've seen Peter Parker done before, but I really like the way he was done in this game. He seems like a completely different Peter Parker, so that's why I'm justifying it as best new character.
I think I'm fine with that as a big Spider-Man fan myself, because it's not that it's a Peter Parker we've never seen before, it's a Peter Parker we've never seen before outside of the comics. Like, this is a part of Peter Parker's life that for some reason movies and TV shows just never want to touch. They always want to go to the high school or origin story Peter Parker. But
oh, my pick should have been Tom Holland. Shoot.
I don't know, honestly,
Best new game character.
I think this version of Spider-Man is something that more Spider-Man fans now can connect with. Because one of the main things about Spider-Man as a character is they always want him to be relatable. But the thing is, a lot of his fans, obviously he's gaining new fans with every child that's born, but a lot of his fans have grown up, and they need a more grown-up character to connect with. So I think having a grown-up Spider-Man was something really special.
Alright, Zach, what's your pick?
Alright, it's from a game that I've talked about before, but no one heard of it. Earlier this year, someone tried to make an Earthbound-like game called Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, and one of the side characters in that, his name is Punch Tanaka, is definitely the most interesting character that I've seen in a game that came out this year. He's basically this very macho guy. Like, every time he jumps into the air on a motorcycle, there's a freeze frame that this just yells out Punch Tanaka. And but like about halfway through the game, there's a pretty cool twist in the character that I don't want to spoil. But yeah, he's really fun. Don't look up the Wikipedia for him though. It's all full of trolling.
All full of troll. Alright, I'll go next, because this year, my favorite male video game character of all time was created. Cyrus freaking
Mario
Albright.
from Smash Bros.
Mario from Smash. No, Cyrus Albright from Octopath Traveler, because I haven't talked about Octopath enough yet. So, I mean, I love the super intellectual professor archetype. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love Professor Layton. I love Phoenix Wright, but Cyrus has all of the qualities I love about those characters with none of the qualities I hate. And he also had a lot of things that made him really relatable to me. I won't talk about those because those are kind of embarrassing. But, I don't know, he's just a really charming and cool character. And he was really overpowered in the game, so I loved Cyrus. And his story was really good, too.
I do
would say
enjoy
that it's
how-
top 3.
I do enjoy how for the first 4 awards you could have given them all to Octopath.
I could have, easily.
Too bad God of War came out.
Yeah.
Alright, Noah, what's your pick?
All right. Well, my best new character is from a Bandai Namco game, and it's actually one of the first
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate!
It's actually one of the first American releases for this game. All I have to say about this character is that he is here. It is
my
All Might, My Heroes One Justice. And all I have to say is I personally love the anime, and I'm a big fan of fighting games, and considering this is a fighting game of one of my favorite animes, I had to give it to All Might. But personally, I love All Might. Just as
Fine. I'll allow it.
He really pulled out All Might. He is here.
I love the fact that he's like always smiling and he's all for justice, even though I can't spoil the anime in this, but
Yeah,
Just all you need to know is, what the heck, young man?
what the heck, like, man. All Might.
Did we all mention our favorite character?
No, well, yeah. that
Yeah.
is it. Okay. All right.
Next, did you guys
I
write
wanna do
down
this
something
one.
for best hardware?
I did,
No.
but we can go straight
I
to
did
best
not.
online.
That's fine.
I would like to go first.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
No, my best online multiplayer would
Oh.
have actually gone to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, other than the fact that I hate multiplayer in that game. It really-
What?
Oh.
Have you played
my-
Black Ops?
The best online multiplayer, for me, personally, I believe is Fortnite.
Oh no.
Really never had an
Alright,
issue.
well, show's
I'm
over.
sorry.
Goodbye, guys. I thank you for watching. I cannot continue.
I almost gave it to Black Ops 4, but I had too many issues with Blackout whenever I first started to play the game that I could not give it to Black Ops 4. I never had an issue throughout the entire time I've ever played Fortnite. So, as far as online multiplayer, it takes the cake.
Can I talk about an issue I've had playing Fortnite every single time I've done it?
Not fun.
this isn't about
Having
it's not
fun.
your list.
Alright, I'll go next. And I want to say that we were going to do this category as just multiplayer. Well, Bradley suggested doing local and online, and I thought about, I said we should just do one category for multiplayer. And then I thought of a game that I had to give an award to, that I wanted to split it up, because this is the perfect place to put it. The best online multiplayer, Monster Hunter World. Absolutely gorgeous game. Absolutely, like...
Is that the only
it's
place you
kind
could
of
give it an award?
No. One more category, but it's an objective category.
Okay.
But I just enjoyed every moment I was playing of that game. So much silly stuff happens. It's so much fun finding the best way to take down monsters and stuff. It's a little short on content, but they're adding more, and supposedly there's coming a big update, or it's already happened. I don't know. But yeah, Monster Hunter World, gorgeous game.
You streamed
Like,
that a couple
perfect
times.
Monster
Those were
Hunter.
fun streams.
Yep, dying to rap. Alright,
Alright.
Zach.
We're doing online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Alright, online, I haven't really done a lot of online multiplayer, but the one that I did like a lot was Scribble.io. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
those
even,
are fun.
It's basically just Pictionary, but
yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone's heard of it at this point.
I think,
It's
yeah,
Pictionary.
everybody's played Scribble.io. I love
But,
that
like,
game.
Battle
It's so
Royale.
good. Battle Royale we should add a best Battle Royale category.
It's much
Scribble.io.
Honestly, most of the fun from Scribble.io came from us being idiots.
Yeah,
Yes.
honestly. But I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the game.
Yeah, it was a good time.
All
Alright,
right,
so we're at-
my best online multiplayer. So I'll
Super
preface this
Smash
by
Bros.
saying,
Ultimate.
no, I have not even gotten to play the online for Smash yet. But I'll preface this by saying I really have not played a lot of online for games that came out this year, except for with fighting games. But the fighting game whose online interface impressed me the most, and the game I had the most fun with online, was Slap City.
What a gem of a game.
It really is fantastic.
It's really cheap on Steam. It's
Yes.
probably on sale right now. Go pick
buy
it
it.
up.
Go buy it right now.
Smash-
Slap City's
Smash
amazing.
Bros. That's great and does original things.
It's really funny, and I guess that bleeds into the online interface. It's just so charming, so easy to use, and it has so many just really funny Easter eggs in it. And I don't know, I had a lot of good memories playing with my friends from Pan Global online with that game, preparing for tournaments, because I did 2 tournaments back to back in that game, and then immediately stopped playing it because I moved on to another platform fighter. We do need to play more of that game. But I mean, and one thing that I'll also say about when I was playing with my friends is we were playing a 4-player free-for-all. One of us in Alabama, one of us in Vegas, one of us in San Francisco, and one of us in Poland. And it did not drop a single frame the whole time, which is super impressive for a peer-to-peer connection-based game. So yeah, Slap City was awesome.
That covers the online. Now I'm guessing we're moving to best local multiplayer. I'm gonna start this off with the thing. I did not pick Smash. It would have been Smash, except another game stole my heart. I picked Smash for like a couple picks for this year, so I wanted to give the shout out to something else. This is also another reason why I wanted to split up the category, but it goes to Overcooked 2. Absolutely beautiful multiplayer. It's just, I've had so much fun playing with other people.
Yeah, we had so much fun playing for 5 seconds.
It would have been best multiplayer in general, or possibly best online multiplayer, but I haven't played online that much. I don't know how good it is.
Certain friends of yours refuse to buy it.
I was gonna get it eventually.
It's pretty fun. The part I played online, but the most fun I've had playing this game was local multiplayer. Yelling at people, screaming and throwing stuff because they threw away an entire order that was ready to go, and you needed that one order because you were just one order away from 3 stars. But yeah,
Wow.
Overcooked. Great
Wait,
game.
I want to go next. I picked Overcooked 2.
Oh wow,
Hey.
you played that game for a total of like 5 minutes.
Yes, it was pretty great. There was a pile of zucchinis in the corner. I'm not sure where those came from.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, he says. Alright, mine is Super Mario Party.
Oh. See what you did there.
I actually really have not had all that much raw fun playing Smash locally, but goodness, Mario Party stole my heart. I went out, bought it on release day, brought it back to the game room at school, and played it with my friends for 7 hours straight. Came back the next day and did it again. This game, like, you would think with 4 boards, it would be a real low amount of content. You wouldn't be able to get all that much out of it. But it really, having 4 boards didn't affect it at all for me, especially since you had the river survival and a few other modes, like the rhythm game mode that we only did like twice because it kind of sucks. But just generally, in terms of Mario Party games, I think it's probably my favorite or second favorite because just the quality of the mini games was through the roof in this game. They really knew how to make use of the Switch's hardware, which really gets me excited for WarioWare on Switch. Alright, that's all I have to say on Mario Party right now.
No, local multiplayer.
My game of the year for local
My game of the year for mobile.
It is game of the year because we're all doing this year game.
So mine is actually Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because I don't really play a lot of games locally with friends, but when I do, that game, I had it in college before anybody else did in my school, and I got to play.
I was gonna say I had it today before you got.
I had it for about.
To clarify, that does not mean he pirated the game. He just bought it.
Yeah.
on release moment.
Early. Yeah. Anyway, I played it for about 20 hours with friends. It was finals week. It was a great time. It had to have been Smash Ult. So I
Alright, Zach. We already did Zach.
So
We already did bad.
it's time
We're
for
done.
best indie.
Yeah. Mine goes to Celeste. Freaking
Wow,
great
what a
game.
surprise!
We already talked about it. It would have been Overcooked too, but
We haven't talked about
it-
Celeste gameplay at all yet, so please feel free.
Okay. It is the perfect speedrunning game, and you speedrun it without even knowing. The farther you get through the game, the better you get at the mechanics, and the faster you want to play through things. It's just, you die a lot, but you get slowly better at it, where you're constantly finding faster ways to do things, and like, it's just perfect platforming, perfect gameplay. It's just amazing. Zach?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Imagine, if you will, someone took Atari, Doki Doki Literature Club, Mario Brothers, and smashed it all together into a miniature golf game.
Smashed it all.
And that's what you get when you play cheap golf.
Yes.
It's a game about you golfing cheaply on an Atari style of graphics, and there's this AI that's constantly trying to learn more about you as you play, and each level feels different than the last one. Like one level you're trying to bounce on some rocks with moon physics, like it's not 2D anymore, it's like a platformer, it's hard to describe.
Don't spoil it. Just let's also emphasize that it's cheap golf. It is really, really cheap on Steam right now. Go buy it.
Well, each level's different, we'll just leave it at that.
Alright, Noah.
Good.
I'm gonna have to let Bradley go next.
Oh, okay.
It's very important to me.
It's important. Okay, mine is also extremely important to me because this game blindsided me. I had not heard anything about it, and then Eager Raptor posted about it on Twitter, said that he played it 7 times already. So I'm like, all right, I like this style of game. I'll check it out. And that is
Overcooked 2.
no Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. If you like classic Castlevania games, please, for the love of God,
Castlevania.
yeah, it's Classicvania. Is the term actually.
Mine's cool.
Castlevania.
Anyway,
If you like that style of game, please go buy this game. It's on Steam, Switch, 3DS, maybe on PS4. I don't know.
That's it.
No, it's on both Nintendo consoles. I don't know if it's on PS4 and Xbox, but it might be.
It's on,
But it's pretty cheap.
That's
But
all
it's
you need to know. It's
yeah.
on Switch. Don't get
it's on
That's all you
Switch.
need to know.
Yeah. I have it on Switch, but it's a spiritual successor to Castlevania 3, but with way better character design, way better level design, and it's just generally the best Classicvania style game out there. I have never played a Classicvania that good, and it only took me like an hour to beat the first time, but I've played it 10 times, so I got my money's worth out of it.
Alright, Noah, I know what yours is going to be. But tell people.
My indie game of the year is actually Dead Cells. I have
Oh.
always been a really big fan of just platformers in general, and I can say that Dead Cells definitely is a platformer.
I've played a lot of platformers in my day, and boy, this sure is one.
Technically, it is. It's just I've always had trouble with the platforming style. Like, you move very, very fast in the game. It's a super fast-paced roguelike.
Excuse me. Did the man who's played every single Mega Man game just say I have had trouble with platformers?
I have had trouble with this specific platformer because you move extremely fast. I'm used to something like Mega Man where I don't move as fast and I can time my jumps pretty well. But Dead Cells is definitely a challenge for me. It was, I could say it's like the Dark Souls of platformers, but it's really not. More of a Binding of Isaac, but in 2D. And I really enjoyed the game. There are some like things about it that are flawed, but personally the gameplay, it never got old. I played it for probably 700 runs, and
What?
every single one of them. So it definitely wins my it wins my indie of the year.
Honestly, I bet one of you, well, not one of you. I thought no one picked Deltarune. I'm surprised none of you picked it. I guess.
Well, I mean, it's not really a full game, but I wish I had saved my recordings of when I streamed that game. That was so fun.
All right, so next category.
Best
is top
hardware.
3 games we played.
Nope,
for the...
best hardware. Hold on. Let me
Okay,
give my
best.
shout out to PowerA Wireless GameCube Pro Controller. Not sponsored, by the way. I just really love PowerA controllers. This thing is freaking amazing. If you're trying to pick up a controller for Smash, it has all of the advantages of a Pro controller with all the advantages of a GameCube controller. Get it. It's amazing.
Ironically,
So-
that's the same kind of Xbox One controller I use.
Yes, PowerA Xbox One controllers. What you have, I have 2 PowerA Xbox 360 controllers. They're amazing. PowerA is awesome. Sponsor us, please.
So what if you made a controller that was perfect, and then you made it better? My
Yeah,
pick
PowerA
goes to the
wireless GameCube Pro
Nintendo Switch. My pick goes to the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, the Smash Edition. You take the perfect Pro controller, the perfect controller, and then you give it the Smash design, and it's just beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Like, I didn't expect it to be that pretty, and then I held it in my hands, and I'm like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Now the Smash Joy-Cons, on the other hand, yeah. I have held those in my hand and just laughed out loud at how stupid it is.
Is this loss?
It is lost.
Alright, Noah, what's your best hardware of the year?
My best hardware of the year? Well, considering I was really late to finding out that I had to rate this, my best hardware of the year probably goes to, wait 1 second, I have to actually...
The new 2DS XL came out this year.
No, it goes to the Yoke, I think is how you say it. The Yoke Switch Games case that comes with
That's not hardware. Okay.
Hey, I have one of those too. I guess it is yoke because they have like the long thing over the O.
I would also like to mention that my pick would have also gone to the A10 Astro Legend of Zelda headset because Zelda is cool.
So is cool. Zach,
Alright,
do you
Zach.
have a choice for this?
If you don't, we can just move on.
There's a when you buy the screen protector kit for your Nintendo Switch, it comes with
That's also not hardware.
very
but
nice
sure.
cloth. That cloth is
Okay, my pick is the Alexa Dot.
I've peaked
how
my
else are you
mic so
supposed to
many
play
times
Skyrim?
laughing.
So our next category is the top 3 games we played for the first time this year. Not games that came out this year, but games that we played for the first time. So, do you guys want to do it?
I want to go first.
Do you want to?
Oh, we should do
Do we
each.
each want to name? Do we each want to name all 3, or do we want to start with our third pick?
Start,
and
yeah,
then
start
go
with
through-
our third, go through us all, and then go to our second, go through us all, go to
Oh,
our
we're
first.
supposed to
Yeah.
have an order.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, give me
Alright, well, I'll go
Alright.
first then.
Okay.
Alright, my number 3 is Metroid Prime. I don't know how on earth I missed out on the original Metroid Prime for this long. I played 2 as a kid, but I never played the original one. And I went on Amazon, bought it for like $10. Oh my god, it's so amazing! This is a game that has aged perfectly. The graphics really don't look dated at all unless you start looking at some of the character models in more detail. But when you're just playing the game on a CRT, it looks fine. But the graphics are incredible. The level design is just so perfect. The secrets are all laid out in ways that they're easier to find, honestly, than they were in the 2D Metroids, but still really satisfying when you do find them. All of the scenery is just, it's all very unique and all has a fantastic atmosphere behind it. The soundtrack is pretty good. The title theme is bopping, but the rest of the music is just kind of, so-so. But
I'd also
I-
like to mention that my pick for best music should have been Cloning.
yeah, I don't think that's fair. That's literally every song in existence.
But
But yeah, Metroid Prime is amazing. Please go, if you have a GameCube or a Wii, go on Amazon, order it. It's like $10. It's so
Still
good.
going.
I love Metroid Prime.
My number 3 pick would go to Doom. It's a game that the 2016 version, the new one. I absolutely love Doom. The atmosphere is just perfect. The music is great. It just fits that. I don't know. You just go play it. It's great.
It's so
Beautiful
fast.
game.
It's so great. I can't wait for Doom Eternal.
I mean, the Switch. Go get it on Switch. Except maybe don't unless you like stuff. I don't know.
Unless you like stuff.
Noah.
My number 3 game of the year is actually a mobile game that has come out recently.
Noah, you know that it's game of the year.
It's any game.
Yeah, it's not your number 3 game of the year.
It's my number 3 game that I've played this year.
There
I
you go.
understand that.
There you go.
Yeah.
It came out recently.
Yeah, it came out recently, and
That's
I
cheating.
started playing it. And I realized, oh hey, this game is actually pretty okay.
Clash Royale.
I didn't feel like I was being like persuaded into spending money into the game or anything, but it's actually Brawl Stars. The game's been in beta for like a year and a half or something like that, but recently it came out. It's a 3v3 like real-time strategy kind of game, and I personally really enjoy it. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of multiplayer games that are really out there right now, so I feel like this is a good way to put more multiplayer games, more like team-based multiplayer games on mobile platforms. So it's good.
Mobile multiplayer games right now be like, we out here.
Alright, Zach.
Alright,
Your number 3 pick.
trigger warning. But
Trigger
as
warning.
great as Breath of the Wild was, it's only the third. It's not super high on the best
Alright,
games of
Wow.
the
Zach,
year.
I'm
you're ending your
banning.
streak
We're
here.
banning Zach. Oh my
Did he-
god, I'm so upset with you right now.
It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty great.
Alright.
I love it,
Oh, oh.
but it's not as great as
Well,
at
don't
least 2 other games.
don't steal my thunder because I will be talking about Breath of the Wild at length in approximately
Alright.
5 minutes.
My
Okay,
number
fine.
2 goes to Hollow Knight. I played that for the first time this year. I don't think it came out this
I
year.
think it did come out this year.
Well, it came out on Switch this year, but it's been out since 2017. Hollow Knight was just a beautiful, emotional roller coaster of a game that's adorable and eerie
scary.
and scary and dark and absolutely gorgeous. The music is beautiful. I loved it. It just has a
Level
great
design
art
is
style.
fantastic. It's really hard actually, but it's a good game. You should play it.
The only thing holding it back is my inability to get into Metroidvanias. I haven't played in a while. Exploring is not my thing.
Speaking of Metroidvanias, my number 2 game is Ori and the Blind Forest. Gosh dang it, that game is flawless. I literally do not have a single bad thing to say about that game. If you don't like Metroidvanias, maybe it's not for you, but the platforming is so perfectly designed. The world is so perfectly designed. The atmosphere and the art is phenomenal. The music is incredible, and the story literally made me cry. Me, Mr. Macho Man Bardley, it made me cry at the end. It's so good. I love that game.
When I think Bradley, the first thing that comes into my mind is Mr. Macho Man.
I am more macho than all of you combined, let's be real.
Okay. Alright, Noah. We're never listening to Bradley talk. So Noah, your second pick.
My second pick is sadly one of my favorite franchises of all time. Mega Man came out with a new game this year, and I got to play it, and it was Mega Man 11.
Sadly.
I've-
I say sadly.
Because my number 1 game of the year is one of the best games of all time, personally, to me. Mega Man 11, it did what all the other Mega Mans did, well, all the other original Mega Mans did, and it stayed really true to form. I loved that, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you,
Um,
Noah, for going into our best first-time games of this year and picking 2 games that came out this year. Really
well,
makes
I mean,
our picks great.
Yeah.
well, I didn't play that many old games this year, and the
Did you
games
get a
I
Switch
played,
this year?
He did.
Yeah, I did.
No, he got it in December last year. So a lot
yeah,
of
yeah. Because I played Breath of the Wild in December of last year, so I couldn't say that it was my game of the year this year.
Alright, anyway, Mega Man.
Anyway, Mega Man. Anyway, Zach.
What?
Unless he's done. Alright, Zach.
Oh, I'm
your
done.
second pick.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Yeah,
problem
you're
is
done
with this
already.
one, I can't talk about the plot a lot because it spoils it really bad. One shot. Definitely like
Oh.
that one a lot more than Breath of the Wild.
Basically,
And
the only thing you need to know about one shot is you only have one shot. That's it.
yes, you only have one shot.
Like an
It was
Eminem
cheap.
song.
Is there an Eminem song called One Shot?
No, no, it's that really popular one by him. You had one chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know
The one with the Minecraft Roblox.
No, that's not even Eminem. That's
Zach, I love how
Kanye.
cultured you are.
That's Kanye.
Alright, anyway.
You mean the being formerly known as you?
Anyway, Zach, do you have anything else you want to say?
Can't really, otherwise it would ruin the game.
Yeah, honestly,
So just
you
don't
literally
play it, I
cannot
guess.
talk about one shots. First rule of one shot is you don't talk about one shot.
Alright, cool. My pick for number one, the first time playing this game this year, everyone, you guys all know what this is. It's Persona 5.
Oh,
Glorious game. I put 60 hours into it with almost stopping the sleep. It was just the best game. It kept me engaged. I didn't want to stop. The only reason I did stop is I thought, wow, I really want to experience other games for this game to change my life for 200 more hours. Stellar game. Great mix of everything. Perfect. Next.
all right. Me, my
Oh,
favorite.
Joker's coming to Smash.
Oh.
I'm already meeting him. I've fallen in love with this character.
Joker's so
That's
fucking
what I
cool. All right, my number one. I played it for the first time this year. It is my favorite game of all time. I can say with confidence. The Legend of
Super
Zelda.
Smash Brothers Ultimate. Oh.
No, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This game, it sold me on an entire series from the moment I saw the first 5 minutes of gameplay. And then I watched, before I got to play the game myself this year, I had already watched 3 playthroughs. But this game is so freaking massive that there was an entire city I hadn't seen and I found on my own. It's so magical. The combat is so fun. The exploration is so fun. The puzzles are so good, barring a few really terrible mini dungeons, but we don't speak of those. But I mean, the story is not the greatest in the world, but for whatever reason, it really resonated with me. I don't know if it's relating to the characters or what, but even as minimalist as the story was, it was really something special to me.
It's definitely more original than other Zelda
Yeah.
plots.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I'd like
The
to
whole
mention that,
the whole ancient technology aesthetic was really cool, and that added a lot of originality to it. But a lot of people kind of sleep on the soundtrack. The game has amazing music. You just have to go
I think
find
it's-
it.
I think it's not my favorite music in a video game, but it's one of the best. Like it fits the game.
Yeah, it's really well scored. And if you look at my Zelda playlist, a lot of it is Breath of the Wild. You just have to go find the really good tracks. Like, the only one that really stands out when you're playing the game is, to me at least, was the castle theme. But when you go listen to the OST, you find a lot of those tracks. You're like, wait, where was this? Why was I not paying attention? It's just the score is so well ingrained that it doesn't really catch your brain until you listen to the music on its own. It's kind of weird to think about, but yeah, it's
I'd like to mention-
Breath of the Wild is really good.
I'd like to mention it doesn't matter what year Breath of the Wild would have came out. It would have been my game of the year for any year it came out. I put
Even if it had come out this year,
almost
it would've still
400,
been- yeah.
almost 400 hours into it, and I've still not gotten tired of just goofing off and
Oh,
doing
speaking
random
of,
things.
The DLC, don't let people convince you that DLC is bad. It's fantastic.
You get a motorcycle.
yeah,
You won't spoil this stuff.
Well,
What?
they kind of spoiled you get the motorcycle in the reveal.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
yeah, it's not a super expensive DLC, but the I really didn't think that Master Mode would be worth it at first, and then I played Master Mode, and holy crap, it completely changes the way you play the game.
Master Mode's DLC? I thought
Yes,
it-
Master Mode's
that's-
DLC.
Yeah.
Find it.
All right,
And-
Noah. If we don't stop Bradley, we'll talk about. Breath
Yeah,
of
I
the
will
Wild
talk
for the
about
rest
Breath of
of
the
his
Wild.
life.
You're not
Noah,
wrong.
your best game of the first time.
My best game I played for the first time, I'm pretty sure came out last year, and it's Stardew Valley. I've actually put the most hours of any of my Switch games into, yeah, it's the most hours out of any other Switch game
Shh,
on my
don't
console.
spoil. That's another
Um,
category.
There's not really a lot that you can spoil. I mean, it's pretty much just it's a simulator.
No, I mean,
of
don't spoil
being,
that. That's your
younger.
most played game. That's another category we're doing.
But it didn't come out this year.
Most
Oh,
played game? It didn't
yeah,
come
I
out
see.
this year.
Ah.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, I put a lot of hours into it, and personally, I still love the art style every single time that I load up the game. There hasn't been like a dull moment. I mean, I really hated having to, fish every day for several days to try to get my fishing level up, but I still love the game. It reminds me a lot of Minecraft, which is one of the best games of all time. So,
Stardew Valley. It came out early February, or not early February, early
2016.
early 2016. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I
put my most hours into it when it came out on the Switch. So,
I will say
Yeah,
but-
Stardew Valley is
He's still
just
Zach, best
straight
game,
up
just
the
came out.
Best
best.
first
yeah,
game.
multiplayer
that
just came out,
style.
so
You know,
and that's
Um,
it.
Zach, your pick.
The game I liked the most this year that didn't come out this year. Actually, this is my favorite game I played this year. It's just constantly making you want to have a good time, and I have a hard time playing a game again after I finished it. But this is the one game that I played that I haven't had that problem at all, and it's Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
I love it a lot. The music is fantastic, and I can't think of a single bad thing about the game.
It's too easy. I cannot believe there's
That's-
people who actually took off points on their reviews because it's too easy.
I
That is
watched
bad
a video that said, one thing that game does is it gives you a new idea. Here's a new idea. Have fun, play with this. All right, now here's another one. Here's another one. He just keeps giving you new things to play with. New cool level design ideas.
And that's
I
not
love
just
it.
something that's exclusive to Odyssey. That's something that the Galaxy games do really well as well. Just Mario's
We're
so
not
good.
talking about Galaxy.
Mario's so good. Why is every Mario game amazing?
No, Odyssey does it even better.
It really does.
Galaxy compared to Odyssey, Galaxy looks like it's still wearing its training wheels.
It really does. The thing about Odyssey is it takes the open world amazingness of 64 and Sunshine with the mechanical upgrades that the Galaxy games had and merges them all into one fantastic experience. Now, if they could just add some 3D world multiplayer in there, best game ever.
Alright, our next category, which is my next category, because I'm the only one that can put an award.
Oh.
My next category is one that I had to mention this game, but I didn't really have a place to put it. And I'm calling it the Just Cause 4 Award. And it goes to
Just Cause 3.
Cause 4. I did play that for the first time this year. Just Cause 4 improves on everything Just Cause 3 does, and adds even more stupid things to play with, and I love it to bits. It's so much fun. It's not really, it doesn't fit any of our awards, but it's just one of the most fun games
And
I've
then
played
Smash
this year.
came out the next
I had a
weekend.
game to this award.
No,
Oh.
because
Cheap
it's only
golf.
Just Cause.
Can I add a game to this award?
No, shut up.
Yes, go ahead.
Alright.
So, a lot of people have complained that Just Cause 4 is repetitive, but I do not see how, because it's, you just don't have a soul if you think that. It's just so perfect. Great game.
Alright. Worst
Next, we're moving to
game.
our worst game.
I want to
I'll
go
go
first.
first.
I think me and Jordan are both choosing games just to spite each other.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Fallout 76, absolute piece of garbage.
It really was.
It fell apart at launch, and Bethesda's trying to fix it and just making it worse. I haven't played it, and Bradley said we didn't have to, so I wanted to yell at this game for being stupid.
Alright, I'm gonna yell at another game for being stupid. And honestly,
Super Smash Bros. Also.
I don't think I would have had as many problems with it if it had done simultaneous mobile and Switch release. But for some reason, Game Freak decided they were going to release Pokemon Quest on Switch like 2 months before they released it on mobile. This is one of the most brain-dead mobile games I have ever seen in my life. There's literally an autoplay button that, like, even with, like, say, Fire Emblem Heroes autoplay button, that only works when you're, like, just trying to grind out orbs or something. But Pokemon Quest, you literally don't even have to play the game. You just kind of lay your Switch on the table. I know how much time you put in this game. Shut up.
I put 80 hours in this game.
Because you have no life and no soul. You can literally just lay your Switch down on your desk and let the game play itself. There's no real objectives. There's no real gameplay. It's just lazy art style .png. Have fun. I guess. Yeah, Pokemon Quest sucked.
Alright, no, worst game of the year.
My worst game of the year, it was controversially awful, but it tried to live up to the hype of other battle royales, and it was Battlefield 5. I am not a really big fan of the whole battle royale scene as far as like just any of the games. Like,
Yeah, his best online multiplayer was a battle royale.
yes, because I never had an issue with the online multiplayer. I gave it the award because of that specific reason, like not because it was a great game or anything like that, but because of that reason.
No,
I had too many
you know
issues
how
with
many
Blackout.
how
but
many hours
Blackout
you have
was
in
an amazing
Fortnite.
battle
Don't
royale.
pretend like you're not a battle royale fan.
I have over 200 hours in Fortnite, and I have 160 in Blackout. I tried to play Battlefield 5 Battle Royale mode, but it really just wasn't enough. That the entire game banked on that being good, and the rest of the game really wasn't. So that Battle Royale failing really just screwed up the entire game.
Well, I think
And
the whole
personally,
game was
like
already
that-
failing.
Well, the game was really banking on the Battle Royale, kind of like how Call of Duty sort of banked on their Blackout being very popular, and it was. That's why that was the only thing available in the beta.
Yeah,
So
because they
I
made something
really
actually
do-
unique and original.
Yeah, thank you for cutting in, Bradley, but I believe it belongs to Battlefield 5 for the worst game of the year, or
Alright.
at least the most disappointing.
Can we give
Zach.
another award to Battlefield 5 for having the worst marketing campaign? If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Zach, what's yours?
I finished Life is Strange this year, and as many problems I had with the game, the story was actually pretty good if they would just trim the fat a bit on it. And so, since Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit was free, I went ahead and grabbed it. But as good as its story tried to be, it was
to be.
Well, it's an ad for Life is Strange 2, so you don't actually get to see how it ends until you go and play the other. So 100% free is kind of a lie, and it was the biggest waste of 2 hours I've ever had.
Oh,
Alright.
Square Enix.
For this next category, I made a mistake. I put down Monster Hunter World, and I had 120 hours in that game, and it came out this year. So I was like, oh, that must have been the most played game I had this year. Until I looked at my Steam, my Switch profile 2 seconds
I know where this
ago.
is going.
Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I was thinking earlier, wow, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, being one of my favorite games, did not get an award. Then I realized I put 135 hours. Absolute beautiful game. Even just as a casual Pokemon game, it does so many things right. I'd say it's a little too easy, but even still, I still had a good time with it. And most of that time is shiny hunting, so one of the most fun games to shiny hunt because just the shinies show up in the wild and I'm just going, it's really fun. Great game, and it's my most played game of this year.
I'm gonna go last, actually.
Alright, well,
Bradley.
I'll go next. This is really weird to even think that it's true, but my most played game is Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it came out almost 3 weeks ago to the minute right now. We are like 17 minutes away from it being exactly 3 weeks. I have 110 hours in this game, and it came out 3 weeks ago.
I will say if it came out a couple months before, it would have been my most played game.
Yeah. But for me, putting like 30 hours into a multiplayer game, that's a big deal for me. I really just don't spend that much time actually playing games. Like when I put 30 hours into Dragon Ball Fighters or into what's the other platform fighter I play a lot, Rivals. I was like, wow, I put a ton of hours into this game, and then out of the blue, I just put in 110 hours in Smash Ultimate. But hey, my Crom is looking extra spicy now. All right, Zach, you go.
Well, my list is out of order because since or you skipped one. But I forgot about Smash Ultimate. I'm going to go with the original one I wrote down. I have put 13 hours into Jimmy and Pulsating Mass, and it's still not super into it.
Excuse me. Hold up. You realize that this is objectively the most you played game, right?
Yes.
13 hours is the most you've played.
Well, for my game this year, that came out this
okay.
year. I mean, I've put like 70 hours into Stardew Valley that didn't come out this year.
Alright, cool. Noah.
Well, my most played game, considering I just got it this year, it was Stardew Valley, but it didn't come out this year. So it actually goes to Smash Bros. Ultimate with 70 hours.
That's
I have.
Noah,
idea
didn't you just say you have 200 hours on
Oh,
Blackout?
yeah. I mean, I guess you're right. Well, I got Dead Cells as the pre-release on Steam, so I can't say technically that Dead Cells.
No, Noah, didn't you say you have 200 hours in Blackout?
No, I did not.
You
Pretty
said
sure you
that
did.
in Fortnite.
Okay,
Yeah,
how many
but
do you
I'm
have
not
in
giving that to
Blackout?
Fortnite because
Hey,
I
wait!
really-
Fortnite didn't come out this year.
It really did.
Fortnite still isn't.
No, you're banned.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Fortnite is still.
I put a
Anyways.
lot of I put a lot of hours into Fortnite and Blackout.
Well,
What
it's
I want
Ultimate.
is- I also want to make another like I want to say something else. I put all those hours into both of those games, and I didn't enjoy them. My
Oh.
most enjoyable hours were in Super Smash Bros.
It's an
Ultimate.
objective question.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I want to.
You're dumb,
You
Noah.
guys heard all
Ban
the picks he
Noah.
had.
Okay, it would have been Blackout technically. It would have been Blackout 4, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I had the most fun with the smallest amount of time.
All right. So
never
what
have a
you're
goal.
saying is objectively, it's not this game that I
Blackout 4.
played objectively the most. Okay, got it.
Sounds good. Next category.
Wait, no, did Zach go? Yeah.
Yeah,
he-
Zach.
Yeah, it was the RPG.
Noah said he wanted to go last in that category, by the way.
You had to think about it.
Well,
All right.
I felt like
No, we're moving on.
No one cares.
No, we're moving on. Most disappointing game. Mario Tennis Aces for me.
Mhm.
that was almost mine.
I played the online demo. I was like, wow, this is fun. I can't wait to see how they expand on it. And they didn't. They released the demo again with 2 things added.
I thought we already did most disappointing.
It was a fun multiplayer, but that's all there was. And
Yeah.
it was a disappointment.
And they've added characters. That's it.
Yeah. Because that's why I play a sports game. For the
Yeah.
character.
I mean, that's why I play Madden 08 over every other Madden.
For the character.
But the character.
Was Yoshi in Madden 08? I don't remember.
They added Pauline as free DLC. Alright, my
Alright.
most disappointing game of 2018. I was so excited for this game. Detroit Become Human. Ugh. Don't worry, guys. It's not gonna be a racial commentary. No, I do want to say a lot about it because please don't waste your time playing or watching this game. It's so bad. Like, the acting is the one thing that I can praise in this game. This game has phenomenal acting,
I forgot that.
but the gameplay manages to be even more bland than other games of its type. And the story is equally bland. Interesting social commentaries that I'm not sure I agree with. And also, it's not supposed to be a social commentary, but yet it's very obviously a social commentary, which is another major problem. and it's just bad. Don't waste your time.
Noah.
I actually also have to give my most disappointing game to Detroit Become Human, mainly because I love story type games like that. Like, I've played many Telltale games, and rip to Telltale. I'm so sorry that someone got rid of all those fun, but I'm a big fan of The Wolf Among Us. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the best stories I've ever been able to.
Alright, anyway, we're talking about worst
And
game. Most
I
disappointing
know.
game.
And it's my most disappointing game of 2018 because I looked at it and I was like, hey, it's going to be like some of my favorite games. It's going to be a narrative that I'm going to enjoy. And from the hype that it generated, I really thought it was going to be. And then it became a very big disappointment as far as really just every aspect of the game. Like, acting wasn't even enough to save the game for me. It was just a complete disappointment overall.
I'll
Detroit
say
Become
I
Disappointing.
watched quite a bit of Detroit Become Human, and the story kept me engaged. I liked watching it, but
No, it wasn't so much that the story was poorly written as it was just bland. If you're gonna have a story
Alright,
driven
anyway, Zach.
game,
talked about Detroit Become Human enough.
I have a different list than you guys. Mine is missing this one.
oh,
Think of it real quick.
Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
wait, what?
It tries to be Earthbound, and it does thematically, but like
Wait, you're serious?
yeah, seriously. But like gameplay wise, very. It's not hard. It just takes a lot of grinding, and if the developer didn't add easy mode, I probably wouldn't still be playing it now.
This is the greatest plot twist we've ever seen.
No, it has a lot of it.
Somehow I won 2 awards, and one of them was worst. Most disappointed.
Wow. Okay.
One of the awards is just kind of a default.
All right. Jordan? Did you? Yeah, you already went. You said.
Yeah, I went first.
All right.
We all win?
So now we're on to the least disappointing, or whatever name we choose.
Surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good. I still have the old list.
Mine goes to Super Mario Party.
Wow,
I
mine too.
I was not expecting much. And, well, it's not that I wasn't expecting much, it's just so many Mario Parties people have not liked, and I haven't personally played them, but like, so many Mario Parties disappointed, and then I thought I was worried about this one. And the day it came out, I watched so much gameplay of people enjoying it that I went and got it that night. And then I enjoyed it. It was surprisingly good.
Wow, I have that exact same game. Imagine that. But I honestly, after playing 8, 9, and 10, the developers made so many mistakes that I'm like, okay, well, I see from the trailer they added back normal boards, but they're only doing 4 original boards. Many games don't look that great. I'm sure they're just gonna mess it up some other way. And they didn't. I was so excited and I had so much fun with this game. I love Super Mario Party. What a mess.
Alright, Noah.
Oh, it's me.
Hit me.
Oh, well, my
Surprisingly good game. It's Noah. Wow.
My surprisingly good game of 2018 was Subnautica. Now,
That
let's
did come out
out
this
this
year.
year.
That did come out at the start of this year. Wow.
Steam.
But that's
It
not
came out
surprisingly
when-
good. It was amazing the whole time. What are you talking about?
It was surprisingly good to me because of the fact that whenever I first played
January
it, I did not
23rd.
play it. I did not play it on Steam originally. I
You
played it on Xbox. It was surprisingly good to me because whenever it started on Xbox, whenever it ported, it was actually garbage. It lagged a lot and my game crashed multiple times. It was very bad. When the game finished development for Xbox, it was very polished. Everything loaded pretty perfectly. I didn't have a lot of issues with it at all. They fixed everything that the community told them to fix, and I've never seen that kind of I've never seen that kind of engagement with such a massive community, with such a small kind of design. Like it's a wonderful game, and it was surprisingly good for the Xbox. For the PC, it was always good, and everyone expected it to be good because they had amazing engines. But for Xbox, it really wasn't that great, and then it became great, and that's why it was surprisingly good.
Subnautica is one of the best games ever made. I love Subnautica.
Alright,
Underwater
Zach.
Minecraft.
No. Alright, Zach. Surprisingly good.
I don't
Please.
like fighting games at all. And it
Did
just
you mean
when I
the
play with other
pulsating
people. And
I thought he was
gonna say
Jimmy the pulsating mask too.
no, I should have done that. But
You shouldn't have.
I pre-ordered Smash because it's the new Smash, not because I was like actually excited for it. But as I'm playing it, it's like one of the only fighting games I've actually played by myself and with other people and enjoyed it. And it's really good. It's surprisingly good.
Wow. I
Well,
never
that's
thought
why
I
we
would
found the category.
hear- I never would have thought I would hear someone say Smash is surprisingly good.
Now, for our final category,
The big boy.
Game of the Year.
Super
I,
Mario Brothers
I
2
say, I
From
say,
Mario Brothers 2, Game of the Year, 14
I
years
say
in a row.
we go down our voice chat list in the order, like,
Oh, okay.
and then so we start with me and then with Zach. Just go down the list. We can
I
each
see
give
how
our
it
pick.
is.
I see how it is.
My pick. I've already given this game an award to, and you probably all saw it coming. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I
Just-
thought you were gonna say Melee for a second.
it took Smash 4 and went, how do we make this game good? We make it faster, we make it better.
We make it
And-
better.
It's just it adds more character. It just does everything it needed to. And
Added a story mode ish. Added a single player
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, it's probably my favorite game of the year.
Probably.
I don't have that much to say about it.
Wow, okay. Well, I would have a bunch to say about this game, but I talked a lot about it about an hour ago. Octopath Traveler. I've said before, I fell in love with this game at the moment of its reveal. I was super excited for it, and when it came out, it did not disappoint. I waited a while to play the demo. I played the demo about a month before release, and I was dying every moment for that month to play the full game. I remember Noah bringing me my copy of it while I was at work, and I had to sit there and wait until my shift was over to rush home and play the game, and then I played it for about 50 hours that 1 month, and oh my god, it was
You
just
didn't even
so
answer your
perfect.
phone. I was really
didn't.
irritated with that.
Yeah, I was so into that game. See, when I get into a JRPG, I get into a JRPG. So I was completely enthralled in the world. I fell in love with some of the stories. A couple of them were pretty meh. I'm looking at you, whatever the friggin' little girl is. Tetra, whatever her name is, I don't remember.
Tetris,
Honestly.
yeah.
Tetris. I don't even remember. Tressa, that's her name. I don't even remember because her story sucked and I never played with her. But Roses was phenomenally good. Cyrus's was phenomenally good. Alphen's was phenomenally good. The music, I would say this is the best soundtrack ever made. Just straight up. Rivals Aqua.
Well, that's funny. We should have had a best music category. It would have won it. Wow.
It's probably specifically my favorite art style in a game. I don't think it's the prettiest game ever made, but it's my favorite. I love pixel art and I love pretty water. But dude, that Miiverse water guy, he would go nuts for this game. Can you imagine?
Alright, Noah, what's the best game you played this year?
So first of all, I want to give an honorable mention to something that was almost my my favorite game. If my favorite game hadn't come out, my honorable mention is pretty much a Destiny 2.5. It's the Forsaken DLC. I really didn't enjoy getting to watch Cade 6 die, but it
Spoilers,
was
dude.
definitely that's the whole point of the DLC.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone knows that. So it wasn't my favorite thing, but Destiny 2 continues to update the game just consistently, and it keeps the multiplayer balanced, it keeps the PvE balanced, and personally I love that DLC. it added everything that Destiny 2 should have had at the beginning, but it didn't have. So I thank Bungie for that. Great job.
My mic is doing the bass
But
boost thing.
it
again,
would
isn't
have been my game of the year if I can count a DLC as the game of the year. But Smash Bros. Ultimate really just took it away. It's just improved on all of the other Smashes. I mean, that's the whole point of the game is that everyone is here, so it's pretty
What do
much
you
just
mean
a-
it's not better than Melee?
Yeah, sorry, Jordan. It's definitely better than Melee. I really feel like the Spirits mode could have been a little bit better.
A lot of it better.
I found adventure mode to be very tedious. I mean, I put 20 hours into the adventure mode alone, but some of my favorite things have just been playing against friends and unlocking characters with them, and that was always a ton of fun with me. Classic mode is even a better experience than adventure mode in my opinion, so I just really love everything that the game did. So it's
Shout outs to Bungie for charging $30 to $60 more for stuff that should have been in the game from the beginning. Alright, Zach, what's your
we're
pick?
not talking about price.
Alright, trigger warning again. But
Jimmy and the pulsating man.
but the problem is there are two games that should both be get the game of the year, but only one of them that when I put it down, I wrote down that it was one of my favorites of all time, and that is Celeste. As great as Smash Ultimate is, Celeste had, as soon as I finished it, I wanted to replay it all over again. And so that goes to Game of the Year because Super Mario Bros. 2 didn't come out this year, and you can't get it.
Knack 2, baby!
Celeste is a really good game and one of the top 5 game or top 10 games I played this year. Too much good stuff came out this year.
A lot of good stuff.
This
came
was
out
an
this year.
amazing.
I don't
I
think it was.
played half
I don't
of
think
it.
it's quite as good as last year, but especially for indie specifically, I think this is one of the best years ever.
The problem with all the good games that came out this year is they're all on PS4.
Yeah.
It's,
And I
We all
own
agree
it.
that PS4
And I
is-
own a PS4 and played one of them.
Did you?
Like-
You only shouted out Spider-Man in the character category too. That's a
Red Dead
yikes,
Redemption
dog.
wasn't that good for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing, and I only.
I
got
thought it
like 30
was
minutes.
okay.
Did you ever
Anyway.
watch the Nakey Jakey video on why?
Anyway.
it was disappointing?
It's like last year, Switch had all the good games. This year, PS4 has it all. So it means Xbox One.
Microsoft,
has
Microsoft,
expectations
it's
and
your
that.
time. Crackdown 3,
We'll see what happens
baby.
with the new Xbox.
Crackdown 3, baby, game of the year.
Crackdown 3 is gonna be good.
Bet.
I
It
have a
has
lot of
Terry.
hope
It
for
has
it.
Terry Crews. How can it be bad?
Alright, so that was our
Easily beat
video.
Overwatch
That
is
was
bad.
hey, Noah, shut up. That
Best
was our
outro.
that was our picks for the best games of the year and a bunch of other games. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thanks for joining our podcast.
Thanks. Noah, shut up. That's the end.
Till
Yes,
next
great
time.
Like, comment, subscribe,